Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our second WebEx session on today. I am Kama Makai from the channel team, and on today I will moderate our events. The WebEx session topic is about solve your top network challenges with Broadcom. Our special guest and the presenter is Prem Dhanapati. He is our dedicated CA consultant, and he will guide you on today. The first session was on the high level about the DX NetOps. Now, part of the second session in the next 60, 90 minutes. On the convo level, Prem will share you the details of the product. The event, a service will be recorded, and later we will share the recording with you. If you have any question, then please use the chat window. Prem, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. This is Prem Dhanapati again. So we had a session earlier that was for presentation, and now we'll be having a demonstration from my lab, okay, where we have a few devices that is being discovered, and you will be seeing the console, how the console looks like, and we'll be also seeing the use cases on our live environment. So I'll quickly share my screen. Okay, just can anyone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, I confirm. See.
Okay. So so this is the NetOps console, which we were talking about. The NetOps console where this is going to monitor your network devices. Okay, if it is physical or virtual devices, it can monitor it. So the first important place that people will be looking at when we talk about monitoring is the alarms. Okay, alarms is the faults, the whatever faults are present in your network. So you want an alert to be configured so that your team sees the alert, and then they can do activities like if they want to assign this to a troubleshooter, or if they want to do some kind of troubleshooting, level 1 troubleshooting, you can do this. So this is the NetOps console, which is collecting the data related to your faults, your performance, your flow, and also related to your software defined network, right? So in the alarms, you can see all the live alarms that is present in your environment. Okay, I can see alarms like OSPF interface change, and as you can see authentication failures. So whatever faults, okay, that you notice in your environment, you'll be able to see that. And you can also click on that to get details about what that alarm is, at which particular time it occurred. And also there are predefined symptoms and probable root cause and actions. So this is a a static comment, which the system suggests if if you're not aware of any specific alarm, the system will tell you what could be the symptom of this alarm, and what is the probable cause, and what are the actions that you can perform on this. Okay, again, this is static.
Prem, sorry to interrupt you. Can you please a little bit zoom in into the window, because I am not sure that everybody see the content of the screen. Thank you.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So you will be able to see the constant if the alarm, you cannot understand what the alarm is, because there can be many network problems, right? So if there is any alarm that you don't cannot understand, we have already provided the details of the alarm, and we also provided a static symptoms, what could be the reason of this alarm, and the probable causes, and what are the actions that you can perform to clear this alarm, right? So you can also see if there is any impact because of this alarm. As of now, this is only impacting itself, so it's not impacting any other devices. You can also see the quick neighbor topology. What is the neighbor topology of that specific alarm? Okay, when we say neighbor topology, the alarm will be assigned either on the device or on the interface. So you can see what are the neighbors to that device or to that interface. Okay, quickly from here to understand if it is impacting any other devices. And then you can also see events. Okay, if there is any events on this device, and quickly see the interfaces on the specific device, right? So all this alarms, okay, all this can be, you can drill down further if I want to see this device, I mean from the alarm itself, I can click on this and I can drill down to that specific device. Okay, almost all the all the alarm or whatever dashboards or whatever reports we have on NetOps, it gives you drill down option to get into more details of the specific component. Okay, so all these alarms are monitored using the first engine. We spoke about 4 engines. Okay, one was the fault engine, the performance engine, flow engine, and the other one was the virtual network assurance, which is going to manage your software defined network, right? So this information, all the alarms is obtained from the fault engine. So I will just quickly go to the fault engine by clicking on this one and then going to console and then the Spectrum monthly console, where you will see the end-to-end topology. Okay, so this will open this console where you will see end-to-end topology. Quickly jumping from that one to the topology view. So as of now, we have in this environment, I have only 4 devices. I have GNS running in the backend, where I have configured 4 devices and along with the connection. I collected the information and only use the discovery tool to discover it. Okay, I'll just show you the discovery option. So you pick the device IP address or device range, or you can have seed router IP address, or you can also import it from an external file, right? So multiple options are there, either the seed router IP address, or you can provide range, or you can provide individual IP addresses, or you can provide import this from a file, right? So once you import that, we support we mostly use SNMP. So SNMP version 1, version 2, and version 3 are supported. So based on what is configured on your network devices, you can have the respective community strings or the SNMP version 3 profiles added here. And before we run discovery, I would like to show you a few more options. So as we said, we can discover the connections, right? So how do we do this? So when I click on the modeling options, and then the protocol options, right? So these are the tables out of the box. The system reads it. Okay, based on the vendor, the system understands what vendor it is, because whenever there is a vendor or a device that is that comes in the market, Broadcom certifies those devices, and it understands on this specific device what table will provide me the connection information. So it can discover from discovery protocol tables. In Cisco it is CDP, or it can also provide from the IP address table or spanning tree table. Based on the device, it can use it. Okay, and you can also have multiple filtering options. Like if you want to stop discovering certain specific IP addresses, exclude them from discovery, or you can schedule the discovery. Okay, if there is a specific range and you want to schedule it on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, you can add a schedule, and then you can schedule the discovery to run based on the schedule, right? So once the discovery is done, you will be able to discover all the devices, and automatically you will see the connections. Okay, you can see the connections and then also the port information. We want to see if, okay, this device, the US office, is connected to the Dubai router using this specific port number. Okay, and everything is automatic. You don't have to do anything. Just put the IP addresses, the SNMP credentials, and discover it. You will see the end-to-end topology. Okay. And once we have the devices, we can get information of the devices. We can see the basic information like what device it is, which location, the MAC addresses, the serial number, and you can see a whole list of details that we collect from the SNMP MIPS, like the chassis view, entity view, the CDP table, okay, the routing table. Okay, most of the information we collect out of the box for these devices, and you can alert on any of this metric. Okay, you can alert on OSPF, you can alert on or on the chassis. Okay, whatever you see, you can alert on the specific metric. Okay, and you can have an alarm generator for that. Okay, so you can quickly see the neighbor topology here. What are the neighbors that are connected to this device? And I would like to show you the automatic root cause analysis. Okay, how the system does the automatic root cause analysis. Just give me 1 minute. So I have this devices running on the GNS. Now I'm turning off the upstream device. Okay, so I'm turning off the upstream device. In this case, okay, so the upstream device in this case is the India router. Okay, the traffic, this is the main router where the traffic comes in, and then it goes to reach the Dubai office and also the other devices. Okay, so if it is a complex environment, you'll be having multiple devices here, right? So you will see end-to-end topology. So now, so this is based on the polling. By default, the polling interval is 5 minutes, right? And based on that polling interval, the system can automatically poll the device, and then it can understand the status of the device. As you can see now, we have turned off the India router, okay, which is the upstream device, and you can quickly see the system automatically correlated. Okay, so since this device is down, we cannot reach these devices, the 3 devices in gray. The system automatically by default triggers an alarm, only single alarm on this device. And when we see what that alarm is, okay, so I can click on the alarm, and then I see there is a network fault detected. Okay, this text can be changed, configured based on your requirement. And when I click on the details on or information on that, I can see this is the root cause alarm, and I can see because of this alarm there are other devices that are impacted. The list of devices that are impacted will be shown here. Okay, so this way you can understand what is the problem and what is the root cause alarm. You can also see what are the impacts, what are the devices that are impacted here. And when you click on the root cause alarm, you'll be able to see the real root cause. Okay, so now if I want to see why this device is in gray color, I can click on this, okay, on this device, and then I can I can see the root cause alarm. Okay, I can click on this one, and I will know that okay, this is gray because there is a root cause alarm on this device. Okay, so it will clearly explain you the reason I'm marking this as root cause is because this is the upstream device, and these are the other impacted devices. Okay, because of this root cause alarm. Okay, let me turn on the device again. So you also noticed once there is an alarm, the ticket is automatically created because we have integration here. So we see the incident ticket already created with the ticket number. And if you have the username password, you can click on this, and then you can get into the details of that specific ticket. Okay. So now this will come up because as I said, right, it's the 5 minutes polling interval. So within less than 5 minutes, this system, the device has to come back normal. Okay. And this is the main primary use case to reduce the noise, automatically identify the root cause. Okay, which is done by default, right? And you can also write correlation rule. The reason why NetOps, okay, when we had a question, what is the benefit if there is a single vendor? Okay, even if it is a single vendor, the main idea is to reduce the noise. Okay, by default we have correlation rules, and if needed, you can write your correlation rules automatically. You don't have to. There is no need for you to have in-depth knowledge or do configuration. There's no need to create configuration files or write some code. You can directly use click buttons, okay, and then you can assign a condition, you can assign a rules, you can assign a policy to reduce the noise. You can also create a domain, so you can put list of devices in one domain and then write rules on that domain. So okay, so whatever alarm is in that rule, if that appears on this any of these devices, combine everything and provide only one alarm. So those kind of correlation rule, you can also have a customized correlation rule. So out of the box, these are the correlations, okay, rules which are there, which is going to help you out in reducing the number of alarms. Okay, and you can further reduce the alarms using event rules. Okay, you can assign rules, event rules, so you don't want to create alarms just like that. Okay, if there is any problem, Okay, for example, if you have an interface which is going down, you know that this interface goes down, keeps on flapping for every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? So you don't want to create an alarm immediately if the interface goes down, right? You want to create an alarm only if this interface is down for, let's say, 15 minutes, okay? Because you know that there is a problem on this device. So you can have a rule created on that one to create an alarm only after 15 minutes. Okay, if the alarm appears and gets cleared, it's fine. But if it stays for more than 15 minutes, only then you need to create an alarm. So those kind of event rules can also be created. Just allow 1 minute. It's loading because the events are more like in thousands and thousands. So it's just taking a little longer to load. Okay, so before it loads, I'll just show you other information. Okay, so this is the place where you will see all the events. So you can see the events related to your alarms, related to your devices, interfaces. You will be able to see everything here. And then you can configure rules for anything. So even you can understand which one is pole-based alarm, which alarm is trap-based alarm. So you can also see that. So once we have the trap or once we have a problem in your environment and you want to create a rule so that you want to reduce the noise, right? So you have or can create the rules directly from here. So you don't have to go and write a configuration manually in some files. You can click with the help of clicks, you can create a condition rule. So you can provide a condition if this event occurs and if specific condition is true, because what happens is there are 100 Cisco devices and all are same model, right? So but you don't want alarm for all this 100 devices. You want alarm only for 2 devices. So maybe based on the IP address search, you want to write a rule because the OID is same for all the 100 devices, right? The system by default will generate alarm for all the 100 devices because it's monitoring everyone. So you don't want to monitor or you want to monitor specific devices, you can write a condition. I will put a condition like, okay, if the event appears and if IP address is the IP address of that device is this one, right? Only then generate an alarm. If it is not this IP address, then do not generate an alarm. So this kind of conditions can be applied, and you can see a lot more options like event pair, event root, rate, event series, right? So different options are there. Okay, pair is like if event x occurs, you can see the definition here. If event this one occurs and if it is not followed by another event within the same within t seconds, then generate event z, which is going to create an alarm. So this kind of event customization can be directly done from the console itself. Okay, so this is something which is available in NetOps, but in other places, in other vendors, you have to configure it using configuration files. Okay, and certifying device, because there can be new devices or the vendors that are not known to most of the people or which is not certified. You can by default certify those devices by collecting the MIPS from the device vendor, and you can upload the MIPS using the console itself, right? Within just a few clicks, you can load the MIPS, and also you can map the MIP OIDs to events or alarms from this place. Okay, you can see all the MIPS that is certified, that is already predefined, loaded and configured. And if there is any new vendor or new device which is not certified by Broadcom and you want to do self certification, you can get the MIPS and then you can load the MIPS from here, and then once it's compiled, it will be added to the system. So once it is added to the system, you'll be able to see the MIPS like this. Okay, and then you can configure, you can map those MIB entities. Like I want to map this attribute to this OID to a specific attribute, or if there is any trap, I want an alarm to be configured. Okay, so I can just click on this and I can click on the plus option, and then this trap will be mapped to an event, and then I can assign an alarm. So using MIP tools, you can add new vendors, do self-certification very easily. Okay. So when we talk about config, we also spoke about configuration manager. So how do we capture configurations, right? So we have list of devices here, different vendors we are using. So as of now, I only have Cisco in my environment. So we can capture configurations either using SSH, or we can use even SNMP along with TFTP, or we can use Telnet along with FTP, or we can use SSH along with SCP to capture the configuration. So you can select any device and you can schedule the captures. You will be able to see the device captures. Out of the box, we save 25 captures. Okay, if you want, you can increase that number. And then also you can see if there is any changes, you can also see what are the changes. Okay, so you'll be able to see the details of that change, what that changes. Okay, you can see that in this case, a new line was added. Okay, you can see it in green. So on 27th or at around 2:59, the line was not present, but at around 3 o'clock, this line was added. So this kind of configuration captures can be done. And it can also compare your running configuration and startup configuration. You can see the difference between your running configuration and startup configuration from here. So this will help you out if there is any change by any admin on the device. You will be notified as email, or if you have configured SMSs, you can also be notified as SMS. Okay, so the other use case, apart from capturing the configuration, you can upload configuration. If there is new access control list that needs to be configured on maybe 100 devices, or you want to do some configuration on multiple devices, you can select all the devices. You can use our upload option, and then you can write your commands directly in our editor, or if you have it present on a file, you can directly click on browse, and then you can push that configuration directly to from the file, and you will be loading that configuration on the specific devices. Okay, then you can schedule it. For example, in this case, let's say for example, like I'll just put a small config. Okay, so I can put the configuration like this, and then I can post it. And once I save it, okay, if you want, you can commit to startup as well. So if I want to upload it now or schedule it, so both options are available. I can immediately do it, or I can schedule it. So automatically the system will push the configuration to the devices, and you can also see how many devices the upload was successful, on how many devices the upload was failure. Okay, so in some case, in cases, customers are also using firmware upload option. So we have options to upload firmware directly from from Broadcom NetOps. So if you want to do some upload task of firmware, so you can get the iOS image, you can put it in the network share, and then you can use boot commands, and you can specify the firmware name, and then you can also specify the server details on where the firmware is present. And once you configure all this information, you can push the firmware to that specific device and schedule when the firmware load can be done. Okay, so last use case in configuration manager is policies. Okay, we spoke about policy. So policy can be a small simple line, one line, or it can be a multiple line. So this is just for example, we are using to check if there is any devices on which I see this line, okay, as NetOps demo. Okay, you can have a complex comparison expression as well with multiple lines. And then if there is any devices with this data, okay, in the configuration, I want an alarm. I want an information or alarm stating that this specific device is violated, and to create a critical alarm. So once I see the violation, I can also do a automatic repair. Okay, so here I have wrote down the commands. You can also copy it, or push it from a file. So once this violation is done, you can, within a click of the button, you can automatically remediate, that is push this command or push this configuration on that devices where you see the violation. Okay, detecting the problem is one thing, and automatically remediating that problem is another thing, which can be done using the NCM policies. Okay, so if we have MPLS, if you have VPN, if you have anything, whatever we think about in network terminology, we can monitor that. I have few MPLS VPN examples as well, which I will be showing it to you. Before that, I will show you the services. Okay, so we have service manager inbuilt in NetOps, where you can create services based on if you have any network service. So in this example, I've just created a backbone network service where I've added the list of devices, and I can also see my service detail. Okay, what is the service detail and what is the outage history, okay, with respect to service, and what are the devices that are present. And if you're using if there is any different departments, or if you're using it for as a MSP, you can provide the customer details, okay, like which department or which customer is getting impacted by the service. And then also you can provide the SLAs. Okay, you can also provide SLAs and see if these SLAs are being achieved or not. So here is SLA which is provided here. So I can see the guarantees here, service details, what is it about. And if you want to configure this, we can use our service editor to configure that. Okay, you can see this. So when we see what are the SLAs, you can see the mean time to repair. You can specify a time. Okay, for this network service, I can only provide you 10% of downtime. Okay, or I can provide you the maximum outage time as like maybe 1 hour, right? So this kind of SLAs, whatever you agree with your customer or the department, you can put it, and then you can create a report to see if you're achieving that SLA, the network SLA. Okay, I'll just share another environment. 1 minute. We have examples here. We have a VPN manager, which is discovering your VPN connections. As you can see, all your VPN connections that is configured on your router, right? So you can see the status and connection details of each and every VPN sites. And if there is any site which is down or which is performing bad, you will be able to see the alarms. And also on the topology, you will be able to see the details of even VPN sites. Even we have MPLS manager, where we are seeing the MPLS links, and also if there is any problem with the MPLS, we can have alarms, we can have the topology displayed for that. Okay, I have little big topologies here. For example, in this case, I'll just expand it here. Okay, so you can see the links. Okay, this is for MPLS. Okay, MPLS links you can see from one device to another device. And also we have an example where we are connecting the software defined network with your traditional network. Okay, so here you can, not this one minute. You can see your software defined network is connected to your physical network as well. So here you can see this is all the software defined network. Okay, so you can see the V routers, the V switches. You can see the complete topology, even if it is a software defined network. Okay, so physical network, yes, people do it. Almost all the vendors do it using SNMP or REST API. But Broadcom can provide you the complete end-to-end topology. If you are monitoring your Cisco DNAC, if you're monitoring your Cisco ACI, or VMware NSXT, or Silver Peak, or Fortinet SD-WAN, we can provide you end-to-end connectivity details for even for the software-defined network as well. Okay, so we'll go back to the NetOps portal. Okay, so there are many options here. We can configure. We can also send automatic emails for any alerts. We can also configure, if you have SMS gateway, we can also configure the system to send automatic SMSs when there is any alarm, right? So now coming back to the NetOps portal. So NetOps, the second engine, we'll talk about the second engine where we are collecting the performance data. So whatever dashboard we're using the performance data, we can create dashboards and we can provide you the details. For example, this is just the out of the box dashboard where you are seeing the top least reachable servers, available servers or available network devices. You can just see the more details about whatever we collect here. And then you can drill down to each and every device. For example, if I want to see if this device is unavailable, I can click on this and then I can see details about that device at which particular time, what exactly that device is, what is the system health of that specific device, and also if this has BGP peers, I can click on that and then I can get the BGP peer session details for that specific device. Okay, so you can see BGP messages incoming rate. Okay, BGP sessions. If there is any BGP session which is getting dropped, you can also see the details here. Okay, you can see the outgoing messages. So all this information you can drill down from the main dashboard. Okay, so I will show you one dashboard, a simple dashboard, which will tell you, which will give you details like how we can use NetOps performance data. So here, this is a simple dashboard. Okay, so think about a situation where you want to monitor your ISP link. Okay, because ISP link is something which everyone monitors to understand, because if ISP interface is performing bad, then your business is also having impact on, right? So here I've created a dashboard called ISP link congestion, a very simple dashboard just to understand what we collect and what we can show. So here I want to understand if the utilization on the interface is good, because I have thresholds here. So anything below 30 is good for me, and anything above 50 is critical. So similarly, I can have it for discards or even errors, or I can have it for any metric. And then I want to see the trend, how the interface utilization is. So since we are doing it for last 1 hour, I can do it for last 24 hours, or I can do it for last 7 days, where I can see how my interface was performing on Jan 22nd and how it was performing on Jan 15, or you can also do it on monthly level to understand how it is performing on a monthly basis. So here I want to see how it is performing in Jan, in December, November, and so on, right? So once we get details, we want to see the alarm. And then I also configured IPSLA test. If you're interested in configuring IPSLA test on the devices, we can also configure IPSLA test from the system itself, and then I can see how many IPSLA tests are successful, how many are not successful, what is the response time, what is the path availability. Okay, so what happens is when you want to monitor your internet connection, you cannot monitor, you cannot go beyond your edge router. So up to the edge router you can monitor it, because you have the SNMP details of your edge router, but then the link that is connecting to the ISP router, you cannot monitor whether the performance is good or if the network is available or not. Physically the interface might be up, but it is not operational, it is not passing the packets. So we can configure IPSLA test, and we can also click on that to get more details about that specific IPSLA test, or how it is performing. What is performance with respect to the availability, with respect to the response time, with respect to the DNS resolution, with respect to TCP connect. So these are the metrics which we collect from the IPSLA test. Okay, so let's assume that there is a situation where your interface, your ISP interface is overutilized, and then you can see an alarm. So the next question, the next thing which everyone will check is what kind of traffic is flowing through your interface. Okay, So in the same dashboard, I have created I've collected the flow information, which our flow collector is getting it from your network devices, and I can see what are the hosts. Okay, which hosts are using more bandwidth. Okay, I can see what are the protocols that are running, and I can also see what are the hosts that are using more bandwidth. Okay, so I can see if there is any, if the DNS resolution proper, instead of IP addresses, you can see the host name like NFA. If you have DNS and it's able to resolve the IP of YouTube, you will be able to see the YouTube name here. So now, since I know that utilization is 80% or 90% on the interface, I will go to the flow data. I will see what kind of traffic is flowing through. Is it HTTP or HTTPS? Or I will see which user is contributing more traffic. So I can see the user, this specific user is is contributing like 27% of utilizing 27% of the bandwidth on my network interface. And I can also get the conversation summary. Okay, so what is user X doing? So this specific IP address is trying to access YouTube, and this is a amount of data. So this is a test lab, so we'll see a small amount of data, but in reality, in production environment, you'll be able to see this data maybe in GBs. Okay, and then you can understand, okay, so this specific user is trying to access YouTube or some other application. Because of that, the network is overutilized, right? So based on this information, you can plan whether to reduce to increase the network bandwidth from the ISP, or if you want to take necessary actions to restrict some sites, or restrict the users accessing specific sites, right? And you can also have a view like trend view from here. Okay, so we can create dashboards however we want. We can have a normal dashboard, or we can have a complex dashboard. We can combine data from multiple data sources, right? Just wait 1 minute. This does not have data. Okay, so you can have different dashboards, and you will be able to see with respect to how the CPU, how the memory is performing, how the interface is performing over time. To understand maybe on last 1 year how the trend was. Okay, and also the system can also do projections. Okay, I will show you one dashboard where the system can tell you that the next 3 months what the growth can be. Okay, so I'm just showing you that. Just 1 minute. Okay, so I have one dashboard which can show you the projections. Yeah, so here you can see from this dashboard, okay, report, I'm seeing how the performance of of my network was with respect to the capacity utilization, how it was in June 2024, and then how it was in December. I'm doing it for 3 months, and then I can do a projection like, okay, what will be the capacity utilization in April 2022, that is 2025. Okay, and how it will be in June 2025, and then October 2025. Okay, you can provide these projections, and then this is also configurable. If you want to do it for longer duration, you can specify it. So number of projections, I'm doing it maximum 3. If I want only for 1, 2, I can configure it. Okay, and this can be done on capacity, this can be done on round trip time, it can be done on bits in, bits out. So it can be configured on any metric. Okay, so you can just edit that view, and then you can specify the metrics. So it can be on interfaces, it can be on flow metrics, and then you can see different metrics here with respect to interfaces. Okay, or it can be also on CPU memory as well. So you can also have dashboards configured for monitoring your SD-WAN. So you want to see each and every tunnel status. Okay, so here, as you can see, you can have a card view like how many sites are present in your environment. and how many sites are working good, how many sites are, how many tunnels are working good. And then you can also have a geo map, okay, with the connections, and see, you can see what is the status with respect to metrics, and this metrics are configurable. If you want to add other metrics, you can also do that. And then you can also have a scorecard view to understand the health, right? And then also get into more details about each and every tunnel details. If there is any alarms, if there is any events, if there is any violation. As you can see, there are reboot events occurring on this specific device. Okay, so now I'll just show you how easy it is to create a dashboard. Okay, because dashboard is something which is really needed. Monitoring is okay. Apart from monitoring, the dashboard or how we present the data is something that is really important. So we have out of the box views. Okay, so we can pick any view if you want to see a trend view, or if you want to see a table format view, or if you want to see data for Cisco ACI, we have views for that. Or if you want to do it for F5 report, F5 devices, you can do that. If you want to do it for MPLS. So for different technology or different vendors, we have out of the box views. You can just drag and drop them, and then you specify details like what metric you want to monitor, and you want a chart view or a table view, and then specify which metric you want that information to be. Okay, so I can do it on the metric family like CPU, BGP, or different options like network health. So different options I can select, and then I can select the specific metric. And then I can also do it on a individual device level, individual interface level, or on a group level as well. So if you want to do it on multiple interfaces, if you have multiple interfaces grouped together to send the traffic, you can have a report so that you will see the utilization on the bundle interface, not on individual interfaces. Okay, so once you specify that, and then you just provide your name, and then you can save that. So the dashboards can be saved, okay, in PDF and also in CSV format. And we can also schedule and send this to email addresses. Okay, if you want to send only the first page, you can do it. If you want to send all the pages, you can do it. And then frequency, you want to run it now, or if you want to run it on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, you can specify it, and you will provide the IP addresses, a single IP address, or also multiple IP addresses. You can also specify which format you want the report to be. Okay, and how do we do it? I mean, what are the metrics we collect? Okay, if there is any room for customization, can we add custom metrics, or can we add custom rules? So I will show you what are the metrics that we collect, and what are the things that you can do changes, right? So when I go to all devices, and then I can see the list of devices that we are monitoring here. Okay, so you can see some URLs, you can see some Windows machines, okay, VMs, and we can also see some virtual environment, that is software defined network, like we are seeing vSmart component, vSwitch component. So you can pick any metric, okay, any device, and then you can see what are the metrics that we support. I'm just putting a device like router. Okay, so when I select any of the device, so we can customize what we monitor. Okay, so we don't want to overload the device by collecting each and every information, because there can be big firewalls, okay, which are doing too much processing, and you don't want to add more load by collecting all the information using SNMP. So we give the flexibility to customer. So you select what metric family you want to monitor. So when we say metric family, either you want to monitor BGP, you can select BGP. If you want to monitor only the CPU memory, you can only select the CPU memory family. So based on your requirement, you will be selecting the metric family, and then the monitoring will start happening for that specific metric family. Okay, it will not be happening for all the metric family. And also you can further filter. Okay, if there are devices on which there are hundreds and hundreds of interfaces, right? So you can specify which interface to monitor. So when we create the metric family, you can provide a rule stating that, okay, I want to monitor only the interfaces that are of type Ethernet, or maybe of type gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so that you want to exclude the virtual interfaces. Okay, you don't want to monitor bits in bits out for virtual interfaces. Okay, so you want to only monitor up and down for virtual interfaces, but bits in bits out you want to monitor only for the physical interface. So those kind of filter mechanism you can do it, so that you are not polling continuously to get data from hundreds and thousands of interfaces. Rather, you're only picking the interfaces that are really needed for you, and then you are monitoring only that specific interfaces. And you can also specify, you can also change the speed. Okay, this is also something which was useful when we talk about ISP monitoring, because your physical router, the edge router interface, the physical interface may be of 100 MB, 10 Gbps or maybe 1 Gbps. Okay, the physical speed, but the actual speed provided by your ISP is maybe 100 Mbps, right? So when the system, the NMS tool calculates the utilization, it calculates based on the speed. So the original speed of the device is 1 Gbps. Okay, when we compare it with the ISP speed, which is 100 Mbps, so the utilization is not correct because it is calculated based on the 1 Gbps. So you can change the speed as well of that interface, right? And then you specify, okay, for me, I have the interface speed on the other router or other on the other interfaces is only 100 Mbps. I can just convert that into bits and then I will provide it. So now the utilization is calculated based on the metric or based on the speed which I provided here. Okay. So what are the things that we collect? Okay, when we see interfaces, I can just click on the interfaces to get details of what we collect in the interface family. So we see the interface availability, we see the bits, we see the bits in, bits out. So we see all the metrics that we are collecting on the specific interfaces. So when I click on the interfaces metric families, I will see a huge list, okay, of what we monitor. So you can see a huge list here. So we are monitoring 3G WAN services, AAA statistics. We are monitoring BGP peer. So you can see a huge list of metric families that we monitor. So based on what is really needed for you, you will pick this metric family and then you will assign that to the specific device, either to one device, or you can group those devices and apply it on the group level. Okay. So, and when we talk about thresholds, okay, you can specify thresholds so that you can create alarms. So by default, mostly what happens is we specify thresholds on the live values. If we do SNMP poll, we see, okay, if there's if the CPU is more than 50%, create an alarm, right? But that is really not I mean, today we are not just directly depending on one poll cycle. Okay, so we want little more details. Okay, we want to customize things. So now we have options to specify duration time and window time. Okay, so think that there is a device where the interface utilization or the CPU utilization goes like 80% for like 10 minutes. Okay, in every 1 hour the interface utilization goes like 10 high about for 10 minutes. You can specify the duration. Okay, so I don't want an alarm if the interface utilization goes above 80% for 10 minutes. If it goes above 15 minutes, okay, only then alarm. So I will provide like 900, because 900 is equal to 15 minutes. And then I can specify window time. So window time, okay, in 1 hour. So let's say, for example, 1 hour is equal to 36. Let's say, for example. So if this is equal to 1 hour, so in this 1 hour, if I see the CPU utilization or interface utilization goes above the threshold for continuously 15 minutes, okay, only then alarm. So only then alarm. If it goes like for 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 13 minutes and then the alarm gets cleared, then the threshold gets cleared, the system will not generate an alarm. Okay, it will only generate if these two rules are satisfied. So which is going to reduce the noise or unwanted noise on your system. So we can have thresholds configured on fixed values. That is, I poll and I see the value and I generate an alarm. Or I can provide on the baseline. So the system can see the trend and it creates a baseline. Okay, at 9 o'clock, this the interface utilization should be around 50%. This is what I observed from last 6 months. So if it goes above the baseline, like 5% above the baseline, right? So not the constant value. If I provide like, okay, if it is 5% above the baseline, only then generate an alarm. Okay, or if it is 5% below the baseline, only then generate an alarm. So instead of providing a static value, we are assigning thresholds on the baseline. Okay, so this is also one of the important thing which is there in NetOps. Okay, automatic baselining. I'm just canceling this one. Okay, so now we can also do reports. So if you want to do on-demand reports, you can just click on this one and then immediately click a report. So not a dashboard, just a quick report to see how the performance of specific metric is, either in a table view or in a metric view. We can just pick that, and then you can select you want to run it on a group level or on a individual device level. You can specify the group. So since we can configure groups and add devices or interfaces, you can specify it on a group level, and then you specify what metric you want the report to be generated. Whether you want to do it on the CPU memory, or if you want to do it on BGP, or if you want to do it on temperature or power supply information. So you can pick that and immediately create a group. So there is other reports as well. If you want to see the alarm report or the outage report, you can also use the reporting options. Out of the box, there are reports available. If you want to see the outage logs, okay, so how many times a specific device was down, or least available devices, okay, to total number of devices that are present. So these are the out of the box reports which are available, which can be used with respect to the alarms, with respect to inventory, and also with respect to the SLAs. Okay, I can just click on this and then you will be able to see top most common alarms. Okay, what are the alarms that are generated more? This kind of reports you can see, and then you can schedule it and send it on a regular basis. Okay, so if you want to certify something new, okay, because end of the day, we are not happy with what is present out of the box, right? If you want to certify new devices, or if you want to do some changes to the existing monitoring, right, you can do that. You can go to the metric families. You can edit any metric family, update metric family, okay, or import a new metric family from another system. You can do that, and you can also do changes to the calculations. If there is any calculation, if there is any metric, for example, interfaces. Let's say, for example, for interfaces, we have calculations at sometimes. Okay, for like how the utilization is calculated. So those kind of things you can edit it. You can write your own formulas, so the system can use your formulas and calculate the utilization instead of the default formulas. Okay, so or there is room for customization with respect to metric families, with respect to what to monitor, and each metric family is assigned with the vendor. Okay, if you want to see this alternate interfaces, what are the vendors that are supported, you can click on the vendor list. You will see this other list of vendors for which this specific metric family will be applied for. Okay, so you can get more details about this as well. And you can group devices. Okay, so you can group devices to so that you can identify and you can apply rules on specific groups. Okay, so based on it can be on interface level, or it can be on device level as well. And also we were talking about multi-tenancy, right? So out of the box, the system does multi-tenancy. You can configure tenants, multiple tenants, as you can see here. So if I click on tenant and create multiple tenants here, okay. So and then if I want to log into the specific tenant and check what exactly this tenant is, I can click on this. I can just click on administrator to see the data with respect to that tenant, and I can go to specific user of that tenant and I can just see the view. Okay, just to understand, okay, what is the view that is present for this specific tenant, and what are the dashboards that will be seen, but that will be seen for this user in that specific tenant. So you can see here on the right side, we are administering tenant, which is test tenant Z, and then this is the user, right? So we will understand. So as a MSP, so I can create multiple tenants, and then I can see if the tenant creation and user creation and permissions are properly working fine or not. You can do it from here. And there is no need for you to log in with the username password of the customer. You can just directly use the tenant details since you're MSP, and then you can log into any tenant to see the data. Just go ahead and then use the specific user, and then you can see all the data related to that specific tenant. Okay, so for all the components, there is what do you call primary, secondary, right? If the primary goes down, your monitoring is not impacted. You have what do you call backup for your collector, you have backup for your console, you have backup for your monitoring, or what do you call fault monitoring. For everything there is backup. So you need not to be worried. You're like, okay, the primary fails, okay, what happens to your monitoring? So the monitoring keeps on continuing, and it is going to provide the data, and then you can have all the reports or all the dashboards configured. Okay, you can see all the list of inventories here in one place. You can see with respect to devices, with respect to interfaces, everything. And I want to show you a few more dashboards here. For example, in this case, we are monitoring NSX. Okay, from VMware NSX, we are monitoring it. I'm just opening the console. Okay, so here we are seeing the complete topology. We are seeing the underlay and overlay topology of NSX. So this is from the software defined network, right? So you can see the gateways, the segments, the VMs on which this what you call software defined network is configured. And I can click on the gateways or the VMs to see more details about what is the usage of with respect to network, what are the other metrics for that specific gateway. Okay, and I can also see overlay to underlay how it is. Okay, and also the underlay components of the ESXi host on which this NSXT is configured. And there is one more dashboard for Cisco DNAC. So this is monitored in our environment, okay, but there are out-of-the-box dashboards for ACI, for NSXT, for Cisco DNAC. For multiple software-defined network, we have dashboards where you can see the complete topology. So we are getting this information directly from the Cisco DNAC. So we are monitoring the Cisco DNAC using REST APIs, and then we can see the end-to-end details, the connectivity details, how it is. And then you can also see this, the site, the area, whatever is configured on the Cisco DNAC, you will be able to see it. And then as we know that we can drill down from this view to that specific switch or specific router, and then we can see more details about that one. Okay, so and last one, okay, you can have MSP dashboards as well. Okay, so as of now, we do not have data for this one, but yeah, we can have NSP dashboards, and also you can have dashboards for your ISP interfaces. Okay, so we can also monitor AWS network as well. We have connector for that as well, so you can also see AWS kind of components, and then you can see each and every component performance and availability. and we can also see flow information. So all complete flow information we have out of the box dashboard to just understand on a high level. I can see the data on an early basis, on daily basis, based on my requirement. I can select this, and also you have option to select custom time. Okay, and then you can run the report on that one. The system also provides you to monitor itself, to understand how the monitoring tool itself is performing, if it is overloaded, or if it is having any performance problems. You can also see the health of the monitoring tool itself, because it is doing self monitoring. Okay, and this NetOps solution, okay, I've seen customers who are using NetOps solutions to monitor more than 100,000 devices. Okay, so there are customers still using it with more than 100,000 devices and millions of interfaces. Okay, and one of the highest implementation where the customers are having like 32 polling servers. Okay, because the environment is pretty huge. When we talk about scalability, the system can scale like very huge. Okay, so I would like to ask if there is any questions here. Okay, we'll take like 10 minutes to take questions, and then we can answer them over the chat.
Let's see the questions. Ram, on my side, without demonstrating the question, is it possible to make integration with AWS, GCP, or Azure to monitor the system or the management things?
So when we say systems, it is the servers on AWS, Azure, and GCP, or the network?
Network connections, for example, because these are object, not a virtual machines or something like that. Somehow check
So
that.
for
Mhm.
Yeah, for AWS, yes, we have a connector out of the box. Okay, for GCP and Azure, I just need to check if we can do it. But then there is other tools from Broadcom like UIM, which is going to do that for AWS and GCP.
Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, a question came very briefly. What is the high-level NetOps architecture, software as a service components, on-premise devices, appliance-based?
Okay, so this is on-prem. Okay, NetOps is completely on-prem. Okay, we do not have an appliance, or we do not have it on SaaS. It's on-premise.
Okay, is any other question? Okay, it seems for me that no additional question. So we close the second session now, and in the next few days we will release the recording version of this session also. Thank you very much, Prem, for the details. Just one
I think there
question
is a
here. Okay,
question.
Please go ahead.
Are there integrations with infrastructure monitoring tools or APM solutions? Okay, so if it is from Broadcom, okay, infrastructure monitoring and APM solutions, out of the box we have integration with NetOps. Okay, if it is third party, we need to know what kind of data you want to get it, because we have APIs, REST APIs, using which we can push information, and also we can receive information. Also, we have outbound gateways using which we can collect information or events or alarms from third-party solutions. Okay, it can be APM related or even infra related components. Did that answer your question?
Okay, good. I think we can close the sessions now. Thank you very much, Prem, for the detailed presentation and deep level demo. Thanks for the attention on the audience side. I hope the delivered content was useful. If you have additional questions, then I share my contact information on the webcam on the QR code. So please read the QR code and contact with me if you have any question. I will answer or I will forward for Prem or for another CA colleagues. Thank you again. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.